Hey guys, in case you have been wondering how I record my episodes for the podcast, I use the Anchor app. And I have to say, I have been loving this app. It has made podcasting beyond easy. Anybody can have a podcast today, I think, especially with this app. It just made it super easy. It's completely free and you can record anywhere, anytime you want. I have to say that my setup for recording is quite simple and that's how I love it. I actually prefer to have less equipment with me whenever I travel, whenever I go somewhere. So this makes it very, very easy. So if you guys want to check it out, just go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Believe me, you will not regret it. Take care, dear friends. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Funky Inspiration. We're your host, Daniela, a place to find peculiar ways to look at life and be inspired by this life. I hope you will join me every Wednesday in finding new ways to have a better quality of life. Thank you for stopping by. Lots of love, my friends. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to Funky Inspiration. We're your host, Daniela. I know it's been a long time. It's been 3 weeks. I apologize, or maybe not. Well, I think it's this time of the year where our feelings have been like a roller coaster. They have been up and down, especially with the situation worldwide of the pandemic and all the things going on today. So I think I have been just really focusing within and focusing on myself and making sure that I am okay emotionally and mentally, and that when I step on here to record something for you guys, that is something that I truly value and love. And I have recorded several episodes that I haven't posted on here, I haven't published just yet, because of also another thing that I want to discuss in today's episode, which is doubts and fears, inexplicable fears and limiting beliefs. I think I have been, I have been having a lot of doubts, a lot of limiting beliefs around what I'm doing here. Does it matter? Is anyone listening? Does anyone care? Is this important? And all of those questions that we often ask ourselves whenever we are feeling any doubt, any fear towards putting something out there in the world for other people to judge, to experience, to perceive, and so on. So with that said, I wanted to be open and honest about that with you guys on here on the podcast, and not just give you guys a super bulletproof, super edit episode where I tell you something great. No, I wanted to be honest and raw, because I really believe in that. I believe in being more authentic, and I think that is probably my thing in this lifetime, to be more authentic and show the world that it is okay that we have these emotions from time to time that limit ourselves, but they are not necessarily who we are. They are just emotions that come and go, and that we need to learn day by day how to deal with them better. So I think in the last 3 weeks I have been doing a lot of more inner work, going within, writing down, meditating, doing just the things that I really feel called to do, listening to people that inspire me. And I am so grateful for all those people that inspire me. And I am so grateful that they put out what they put out and they move past their fears and their doubts, because at the end of the day, that's all it is, my friends. Everybody goes through these feelings of doubts, of fears, but the only difference is that they decide to go ahead and do it anyways, regardless if they feel the fears, if they feel the doubts. So in case that whatever I do here on the podcast inspire other people, I want to be able to go ahead and put it out, even if I feel doubtful or fearful of what I might be putting out. because it might help someone. It might be someone's medicine. I think we all hold the key and the medicine for each other. So whatever I put out might be super beneficial for someone, but might not be beneficial for another person. But it's still worth me putting it out there, because there are people who need it. And exactly how there are people who need exactly what you have to share, what you have to give this world. So never sell yourself too short. Stop diminishing your light and thinking that you have no value to offer society, that you have no worth to offer society. Just the simple fact of you being born is already means that you are a valuable person in this world. And sometimes we all need to remember that. And whenever I make these episodes, I make them so much more for me sometimes, and even for you guys as the listeners, because I think that I need to hear these words myself every time I speak into the mic. So always take that into consideration, that we are always going through the same process, the same emotions, no matter how quote unquote successful you are in life. We all have these moments of fears and doubts that prevent us from putting forward the beautiful wisdom we have to share with this world. So with that said, I want us to recognize that first. Recognize that everybody, no matter who it is, everybody in this world, no matter how much you look up to them, believe me, they have fears too. They have doubts. They have insecurity. They have limiting beliefs. Everybody has them in this world. You wouldn't be a human being if you didn't have any doubts, any limiting beliefs, any fears. It's just not something that you would not have if you are having a human experience. We all have to go through it from time to time, and that is okay. There are going to be moments where your self-esteem is super high, and other moments where your self-esteem is going to be super low, and that is completely okay. That is all part of this process of experiencing life. And what we have to work on is figuring out how to move past those fears, how to move past those emotions, how to move past those doubts, and really go out there and do what we want to do, because the world needs it. Another great thing we can do is to ask ourselves, what is the worst thing that will happen if I put out the things I want to put out, if I do the things I want to do, if I say the things I want to say? What is the worst thing that will happen? Always ask yourself that question. I think that is a really important question to ask yourself, because our mind and body are always trying to protect us. Our human body, that's what it does. It tries to protect it, and it thinks that everything is out to get it, out to kill it. So you must work with yourself in order to realize that sometimes, like for example, in my case with this podcast, there's really nothing wrong that will happen if I put out, let's say, a horrible episode that everybody hates or something. It's not going to be the end of the world. It's just going to be an episode that people didn't resonate with, that people didn't like, but that's about it. Nobody's going to die from it. I won't die from it, and people will be able to keep going and move on. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Another great thing, my dear friends, that we can do is to speak to somebody close to us, somebody who knows us, who values us, and that loves us, because they might be able to show us a different perspective, a different side that we are not able to see on our own. As much as I love to spend time alone, as much as I love to just be with myself, sometimes it is so valuable to meet those friends and have beautiful, deep conversations that will help us move through those thoughts and emotions that are holding us back from our full potential, because I think our friends can sometimes be that mirror that we all need to have in order to move forward and not be held back by our thoughts, you know, and you get the chance to process emotions. It's like maybe going to a therapist, but a lot better, I feel, because it's your friend, is somebody who knows you and loves you unconditionally, and is going to be able to reflect back to you what it is your soul needs in that moment. So I always value that a lot, to have people around me that I can talk to and have a deep and beautiful conversation with about what I'm feeling. And sometimes you can just bring it up in such an easy way. It doesn't have to be this like catastrophe and dramatic style, but just bring up those emotions that you're feeling and speak them out loud to a friend. You might sometimes not even need to hear that advice your friend has to say, but the mere process of you speaking it out loud will help you to process those emotions. So that is very valuable in being able to move past those fears, past those doubts, and remembering that they're always going to be there. They're always going to come up from time to time, and sometimes they're gonna just be stronger than other times. Another thing that I will do is to write things down. I love writing. I think it's wonderful. I used to write since I was a child. I used to have plenty of journals all around my house, and still do, because I just love writing down my emotions and getting it down on paper, because it helps me process better. For me, it's a cheap therapy. It's the best way to therapy. Actually, to be honest, I actually have never gone to therapy, but I have always been a super passionate person about writing, which has really helped me to deal with my emotions and my feelings. It really does help me come through and come up much better from where I was at in the beginning than after I am done writing. I feel like it just gives me that flow and that experience of being able to process my emotions. And even when I have like a fight with somebody, which doesn't happen that often, but if I do, I will write down on a piece of paper what I'm feeling. And I will also try to write like a little bit of a forgiveness prayer, like a Ho'oponopono prayer, which I spoke about in my other episode, and I can put it down in the notes for you guys. And I will do that, and it really does help me to be able to move forward and continue on with my life and not be just stuck in this emotion, because I think right now and always, we always need to figure out ways to keep moving from our emotions, in and out of our emotions, because they're important. They're there for a reason, and they have a beautiful value for all of us to experience life more fully. But there are some emotions that, of course, we don't want to feel all of the time, but I think they do serve their purpose and they are important. One other thing I wanted to share on here is a quote by Vincent Van Gogh. Vincent Van Gogh was a famous artist whose paintings are now super famous, but I don't think they were when he was alive. And he had this quote that goes like this. He says, "If you hear a voice telling you not to paint, then therefore you must paint, because that is the only way you will silence that voice." And I love this because I think it's so true. We have to push ourselves forward and do that exact thing that we don't want to do, that we feel so afraid to do. I remember watching a long time Valeria Lipovetsky, who I love, on YouTube, and she was saying how for her it was like terrifying to be on a camera, to be on the screen and have other people watch her, but she wanted to push herself out of her comfort zone because it is important. I think that is the part that helps us grow the most and helps other people. So whenever we do something that can be a little bit uncomfortable for us in the beginning, we also provide that medicine, that wisdom for other people to do it themselves. And it might not be the same thing that they want to do like you, but it might be something in their life that they need to move past through it. And because you just went out there and you were authentic and you did it, they see you and they get inspired by you. So we always are inspiring one another. Never forget that, my friends. Another one here, it probably is going to be the last one that I want to share with you guys, and it's something I asked my friend a long time ago. I asked her what she would tell her younger self, and she told me, "Leave the fears behind. You will reach your goals. There will be times of doubts. There will be times of worries about money, worries about failure, self-esteem. Could I, should I, would I? But leave those fears behind. You will reach your goal." And I love this. I love when she told me that. And I have never forgotten this, because I think we all go through that in our lives where we forget how far we have come, and I think for her, when she told me about it, she explained to me why she was saying that in that moment. And it was because everything she had envisioned for herself, she actually got it, and she got it even better than she dreamt of. And all of those fears she had, they were just just holding her back pretty much from reaching what she could. And they almost serve no purpose, to her in that moment, to have all of these fears, because we could spend a lifetime full of fears without moving forward and doing the things we want to do, just because we have those doubts and those fears. And what I want to try to get you to understand and to realize is that we all have those fears. We all go through those moments of doubts. But the point is to move past them and come out much better on the other side. And in the process, inspire other people to also move out of their own fears and their own doubts and their own limiting beliefs, because that is what is going to help other people to be able to live a better quality of life, to accomplish their dreams, to be happier. Imagine if we live in a world where everybody is accomplishing their dreams to the fullest. We will live in a beautiful world. And don't think when I say accomplishing dreams that you have to do something grand, something big. I think everybody's dream is different, and that is the most beautiful thing about human beings. Your dream could be to be a mom, and that is your biggest dream, and that's great. Somebody else's dream could be to write a book. Somebody else's dream could be to be the best doctor, the best surgeon, and so on. And it doesn't matter. We all have different dreams, but I think we all have medicine and wisdom to share with one another that could help us move past those fears and past those limiting emotions that we all get to experience, especially at times like this where the world's a little bit uncertain at the moment. So we all feel these fears coming up, these emotions coming up, and just give yourself the time that you need. Take a pause, breathe deeply, write it down, speak to a friend, do the things that will help you come up from those fears, that will help you move forward in life, and do the things that you want to do in this world. All right, my friends, I think that is all that I wanted to share with you here. I am definitely feeling a lot more confident now with this episode to push it forward and publish it. Is, like I said, I have recorded other ones that I haven't felt comfortable to share, but I think I will, because they might be useful and helpful to someone. And that's what we must remember. We must remember that all that we offer helps other. I am so grateful for everybody that, like I said, that I admire and look up to, for them to have moved past their fears and publish and put out the things that they put out, because they have encouraged me in one way or another. So we can all do that for one another. Don't diminish your light. You have beautiful light to share with this world. Share that light, share your wisdom. You matter. Your value is out of this world. You are extremely valuable, my friend. Don't forget that. I love you. Take care. Leave any comments that you want. Write me on Instagram. Let's chat. I love you all. Take care. Ciao, ciao.